what is fun anyways? It's like doing things aligned with your vision or higher purpose, which if, adoption of blockchain technology is a thing you're into, then you can have fun doing a lot of things. Me, I have fun rage tweeting all day. That's what I have fun doing. It's a
You're a
good time.
beast on Twitter, Toad. I don't know. I don't know what's happening over there.
Multiple coffees and unreasonable amounts of tweets. That's
Opolis,
what's happening.
Opolis is my coffee. And also
Oh.
coffee is my coffee. So coffee on coffee.
People say tea or coffee, and I'm like, both, fool. Like, get me caffeinated. Let's go.
I'm trying to get Doodow up here as a speaker. I've invited them up to speak.
They didn't do the do DAO training on how to use Twitter Spaces. RIP.
I'm going to go ahead and just pull up our questions and our call agenda for today. So we'll give him a minute to accept his invitation.
Yeah, do DAO pretty dope. I have heard of them in the space, of course, for I don't know, a hot minute. I think I ran into them the first time, honestly, just like using Aave and like digging into services Aave was providing. But I feel like kind of like a project folks don't necessarily know about. I'm stoked to get them up here talking today. I feel like for the most part, we try to provide conversation on DAO tooling and training and onboarding, big old pain point. So here's some DAO tooling around these things. Heyo.
So while we're waiting for Robin to come up, so Robin is the founder of DoDAO, and I'll just go through and just give an introduction. I will start just by saying, first of all, I want to thank everybody that joined today. Welcome to Freelancer Friday. Today we'll be highlighting DoDAO, which is essentially an education platform and a DAO onboarding platform. It's a DAO tool that I discovered back when I was working at Harmony. Yay, we got DoDAO as a speaker. Who's got the soundboard? Let's give a round of applause. Yeah. So we're super stoked to have Robin up today as a speaker. I'll just go through and just give everyone a quick introduction. So I'll start with myself. My name is Rachel. I'm a coalition success steward at Opolis. What my mission is to help democratize employment and to build relationships in the Web3 space. Like what keeps me going every day, I would say, is human connection in Web3. I really love learning about different impactful projects. I love highlighting different projects and doing Freelancer Friday, partner spotlights, hopping onto consistent cult calls because you guys are just nonstop with your Twitter spaces. So recently I've fallen in love with that community. And of course, Opolis. Like I like to say, joining Opolis is like stepping into a portal of abundance. My life has just gotten immensely better in every conceivable aspect. I have great coverage now. I have a W-2 payroll. Pretty much it is like the legitimization of employment, and I'm here to help educate all of you about it and collab with different projects. Micah, I'll pass the mic to you.
Booyah. I would say if I was introducing myself, I would say that I like to be a part of movements. I like to start movements, sustain movements, and contribute to movements. And here we are with a movement in the future of work. It's like we're out here all on the old Twitter sphere, and if we're not talking about these things, who will? So I just talk about things that matter to me. Man about Web3 and a proud contributor to Opolis, amongst a few other DAOs, but Opolis. I also would like to talk about Cult, but I'm just farming the room at that point. Ayo, Sandy, what's up?
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Sandy in the Opolis page right now. We did a little quick user-friendly how to get into Twitter Spaces with Justin from DoDAO. So we're all good now. And I've been in this space since 2018 with NFTs. I just love being in projects that are biddling and are creating the future of work, and Opolis is doing that exactly. So I'm super excited to do DAO and do more things. Miguel,
Awesome.
if you want to
Thank you,
introduce.
Sandy, for
Yeah,
your
of
awesome
course.
energy as always.
Hey, thanks, Andy. Thanks, Rachel, for having me here. Sorry, guys, for the mess up and all.
All good. We are so happy to have you up here, man. Robin, I looked back at our Telegram messages. I've been talking to you since I first started my journey in Web3. Like, I just want to give you a huge like shout out for a moment. Like, you are so just responsive, ready to go. Like, I don't even have to ask. Like, I'm like preparing for our Twitter space, and he has all the questions ready to go, talking points. Like, kudos, man. Like whatever there is to do, you just jump in full force and you don't wait. You're just a very proactive person. And I like to say inertia is something that I value in the space, right? Like continuing to move, continuing to act and like get things done. And you were just like a beast, man. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Rachel. Thank you. So I think first, like I met Rachel like probably a year ago, Rachel, like when we were working on Harmony, like on the onboarding stuff and all, right? So like my journey in Web3 started probably around 3 years ago. I heard about crypto and all like a while ago, but I was not into tokens and all, not of that interesting stuff. I'm mostly into programming and all. About 3 years ago, I heard about smart contracts. It was immediately clear to me like it's going to add a lot of value towards the financial products and all that we'll build. And along like following that pattern, that was the time when DAOs were becoming famous. And I was really very excited about like how we can collaborate and work with common incentives in place, like work towards a common goal. So that's the thing that brought me into crypto. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin, for your introduction. Miguel, let's pass it over to you, our lead ambassador steward.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're at. My name is Miguel. I am the Ambassador Success Steward at Opolis. I joined the team a few months ago and have really trying to get the ambassador program off the ground, and we are there. And one of the cool ways that I was able to receive some training was from the DoDAO training guide, which I found extremely helpful, very easy to use, and have now incorporated that with onboarding our ambassadors at Opolis, because at Opolis we are trying to solve pain points that freelancers and entrepreneurs are having, and DoDAO has helped with that. That is it.
Awesome. Thank you, Miguel. So just to let everyone know here, we're going to be sharing a couple relevant links just on how to become an Opolis member, what Opolis is, the DoDAO website, as well as the Opolis DoDAO guide, which has been a really integral part of our ambassador program. So just to kick this off, I want to say that, when I first joined Opolis, something they wanted to do was create an ambassador program. So I was tasked with onboarding, training ambassadors, coordinating meetups. And this is something Miguel and I have done, since back at Harmony, and has been a huge passion of mine, just coordinating IRL meetup events. And, can you guys hear me?
You're back. There was a short rug, but it was a very brief rug. Yeah. Sometimes rugs are kind to you.
So when I first started in Web3, a big part of what I did was coordinate meetups for in-person events. I'm really into human connection, like I said, and I think that's a really big part of Web3. So Miguel and I have worked on that in the past. And now at Opolis, I was tasked with building the infrastructure for this program. And I connected with Robin, and he really helped to create an educational resource, opolis.dodao.io. So if you go through that guide, basically it goes over all the information on Opolis, and it takes you through essentially a quiz on all things Opolis. So we've actually used this as a resource to onboard our ambassadors and to help them get trained and to know everything about Opolis. So Robin, if you want to go in and talk a little bit about like high level ideology, what DoDAO is, and how this is helping to educate DAO members and to onboard new members.
For sure. Thanks, Rachel. Yeah, so DoDAO, like basically we started around a year ago, and I wanted to do something in the DAO space, like just because of the collaboration and all, everything, like and matching of the ideology and all. So initially I thought like, okay, I'm going to explain like the whole domain, like what all is going on. And I found it very difficult to get the information, like how to join the DAOs, right? What all is going on, what are the active projects, how can I contribute? And there's a huge learning curve, and that's where I thought, okay, like let me work on the onboarding piece, which is, so we created like an onboarding website where people can come. So we took an opinionated approach in onboarding or educating users. So I had been working a lot into like writing code. So one of the ways to document the code is writing guides, where you help new folks who are getting started. You ask them, you first present them with all the information, and to reinforce the learning, you have some evaluative question and all. So that's the approach we took on the guides. And then as we kept refining the platform, as we kept working with different protocols or different partners and all, we got a feedback like a lot of people wanted to go further deeper, like on into like ambassador program, right? Like one guide might not be enough, or people want to onboard developers, or like or write a full course, right, or something. So we added a new feature which is on the courses side. So like guides are meant to be something on which you want to educate like members and all within 5 minutes. And if it takes more than like half an hour or like an hour or so, so we have another feature which is courses, and users can lay out education in a very formatted way and help the users go through it.
Who's like able to do that? I mean, like make educational content.
I think everyone, right? Like this is an open platform, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like right now it's free, right? And we have another piece to DoDAO, which is DoDAO's own academy site. Uh, so right now we're concentrating a lot on DeFi, and that's because of like the latest problems which we see like around clarity and all, and learning problems around DeFi. So we have our own like opinions and vision about crypto, how it'll play out. So to support that vision, we have rolled out our Do DAOs Academy. So right now, our focus on Do DAOs Academy like would be to produce like free educational content supporting DAOs and DeFi.
If any of you guys are just interested to learn more, I've had a lot of people DMing me and asking to learn more about Opolis. I think this is a really great comprehensive guide and a really awesome tool just to learn as much as you can. And I think Robin has actually structured this to ask questions, right? Like, so this helps you to retain the information that you're reading. And I think it's a really useful way to learn. And this also brings me to one of my next questions, Robin. I wanted to ask you, what is the Do DAO Academy, and how are you working now to create courses for DAOs and different projects?
Yeah, so Do DAO Academy is thought to be like, we feel very aligned with the crypto movement, and like so everybody like attaches themselves to Web3 in different ways, right? So the way we attach ourselves is we feel that web like blockchain provides a global financial system, right? So some of us who are into developing nations, we just take financial system as granted, right? And towards the progress, right? Like as humanity, we have been able to progress so much because of like the strong government and financial structures and all. So we feel that blockchain would provide a global financial system and would offer inclusion to a lot of other countries, right? Where like the assets and all could be seized by the governments or something like that. So that's like, so our focus would be educating people around building this type of global financial system. And other is the DAO movement, which we see where people can just come, they can collaborate towards a common vision, and like get incentivized, right, in different ways. Uh, and then it would be to also make things transparent, because we see like last year, like in 2022, a lot of people lost their savings also, because we saw like high APYs and all that were promised by the project. So we want to make it transparent and educate the people to just make sure like whenever you are trying to go for these tokens and all, you have the full information, full knowledge available. And like there's least speculation, but you actually know what's going inside, right? So we want to educate the users about them. And then on the DeFi side, there are a lot of nice primitives that we can use, like automated market makers, lending and borrowing. And these could be combined with now NFTs and all, which is like bonding and all. So we want to educate the users on that front also. So far the vision is that all the education would be free, and we had to implement some groundwork to make sure like we can act as a community. So that groundwork has been laid right now, and in a month or two we'll start operating Do DAO's Academy as a pure DAO. So people who come collaborate and all, like they would be the ones who will taking it forward from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin, for that information. I just want to take a moment too. Like, I'm actually looking at all the different DAOs and projects you have guides for. There's some pretty big projects on here. Like, I see Aave, Aragon, Badger DAO, BitDAO, DAO House. Let's see, Grindery, Opolis, Juicebox. A lot of big familiar projects I'm seeing on here. And I would like to invite anyone that's on a DAO, anyone that's on a project that wants to get more educational resources out. Let's start a conversation with DoDAO. Let's get you guys more exposure. Let's get an educational tool up for you guys. Like, this is meant for, for DAOs and for DAO tools. And like, Robin, I'm curious as to like what is the primary audience here, and like who does DoDAO make sense for? Like, who would use this?
I think it is best suited for two types of protocols. One is like for DAOs, of course, who needs to onboard a lot of people so that the onboarding could be streamlined. And the second is for the protocols who want to onboard developers who could write integration and all on top of them, which I think like pretty much every protocol in DeFi wants to be a layer on which other primitives or other functions could be built. So I think both of these categories DoDAO would suit a lot.
Awesome. Any other speakers have anything they want to contribute? Anything you're excited about when it comes to DoDAO or just having these educational resources?
It's interesting to me. I feel like a lot of people, when they start, they like, I don't know, there's certain cycles you go through when you're learning crypto. And one of the first ideas you have when you get into crypto is, oh, I will educate other people on how to get into crypto. And I feel like a lot of people go at this on their own. Like, I know it was the first thing I did was like, oh, I'm good at crypto. I've done this for 4 weeks. I know how to set up a MetaMask. Let me write a training curriculum to use crypto. And I tell you what, like there's a lot of DAOs out there that these people should congregate in. And it's kind of like if you're building training curriculum not inside of one of these DAOs that is enabling people who are training people, like you probably shouldn't be building a training curriculum yet. Like you haven't fallen far enough down the rabbit hole, you know? So yeah, it's pretty cool to see projects like this. I mean, I did full-time adult like teaching. Like I was responsible for teaching how to sell insurance products to adults for 40 years, and I like just got into adult education for a long time, and not entertainment but education. But you know, it was kind of like LMS platforms is what we would call them, you know, learning management softwares. They would be expensive and we wouldn't have access to them. And this is, you know, maybe like a little bit mute, like we may not really realize like the gravitas of DoDAO, but it is a tool that is simply made available to you. And if you would like to onboard people and train them things, you now simply can. Like this is the difference between Web3 and Web2. It is beautiful.
And also, there's a Web3 integration here. So you connect your wallet and you're able to launch the app. So this is essentially a D app, a tool for DAOs and a tool for other DAO tools, a DAO tool for DAO tools and DAOs. So I'm curious, I want to just pass the mic over to Miguel, because I know, Miguel, this has been a big part of the ambassador program. And I'm curious, like, this is a two-part question. So what your experience has been like on the ambassador program, and how DoDAO's onboarding guide has created a more effective training solution for this program.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, like I said, when I was being onboarded with Opolis, I came across this training guide, And for me, this training guide was really what solidified my education and my know-how of the Obelisk services. It is very streamlined. One thing that I thought was really cool is that you connect your wallet to it. And for people entering the blockchain space or the crypto space, it's a real great entry point on how to set up your wallets and then connecting your wallet to this training guide. But the training guide had a really good flow. It reviewed education and then it quizzed you, sort of reinforced what you were reading, what you were learning, so it would stay in your brain. So I found it extremely helpful, the flow of it, and now we are onboarding the ambassadors with, this is one of the very first training materials that we supply them with is the new DAO Obelisk training guide, which is it's just very educational, very easy to use, very streamlined. It's just a great product.
Yeah, I agree with you, Miguel. Just a heads up, I don't know if this was for anyone else, but it was kind of hard to hear with your mic, but I got the gist of what you were saying. I think the fact that they ask questions on what you're reading is a really good way to reinforce that information. And I think Robin is just very innovative when it comes to helping people to retain information. And this is a question I actually didn't include, Robin. This just came to my mind. Like, I know that you are incorporating something with Project Galaxy to basically mint an NFT when someone creates or completes an educational guide. Now, do you think this technology, or how do you think this technology could impact the education system? Do you think people could get certified and get NFT certificates? And yeah, I'd like to hear your input on that, how this can impact the future of education systems.
Yeah. First, I would like to talk about what Mika said. It is that DoDAO could also be used by individuals who want to educate others about any particular topic and all, because definitely we need a lot of education about these topics so we can spread the word out. And talking about NFTs, so we do have integration with Project Galaxy, where after you complete guides or courses, you can be given an NFT. So we already see like NFT space. One is the art space, other is also the credentials part, right? Which is getting access to anything you would want to have NFTs. And there are a few tools already out there. If you want to join a Telegram channel or you want to join a Discord channel and all, you need to have some NFT there, right? So the way we see it is like, suppose you want to apply to a task and that's in a DAO, right? So to save the time for everyone, you would want the members to be educated about particular topics and all. So from the guides, we can award NFTs, and NFTs could be the gating solutions to be applying for the tasks and pick those. So that would save a lot of time and streamline a lot of the things and all.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. And I've actually asked if we can share any links, like to invite people to get involved in the conversation, whether it's Telegram, Discord. We'll be sharing those in a moment here. Yeah, I'm really excited. Like, I'm even curious how DoDAO could be implemented into like educational courses or programs or even institutions to use more Web3 technology. I'm really curious to see what the future of this looks like. And I think DoDAO Academy is a really great starting point for the future of DoDAO. Now, Robin, one of our questions here today is what is your take on DAOs? What do you envision as the future of DAOs in Web3?
Yeah, I've worked with startups for the last 7 or 8 years, right? Exclusively with startups. And I've been talking to, because for DoDAO's Academy also, we had to come up with a vision, right? That how exactly we want to take it forward. So we saw a lot of projects. I think like there are some projects that are all focused towards some mission and all. They can start as a DAO, but things like DoDAO, right? Like first we need to have a product in place, or like, or either you have charismatic leaders who can clearly communicate, which I'm not at all. So for me, I had to first have some base in place so that other people could get my vision, like what all do I want to do. And I've been hearing like sincere feedback from people who say that DAOs are the way it would be, and I myself feel that. And These are two or three things combined. It's not just DAOs, because it's also DeFi that enables DAO, and DAOs like in fact favor DeFi because incentives could be aligned in very innovative way using tokens and all. And when you're giving tokens, it's not like completely monetary and all, right? It's just that people who believe in the project, right, they all stick together, and people can enter the project and leave the project based on their availability. And that's also like how the way we work and we collaborate has also changed recently. So I think like DAOs might not be taking 100% of the space as for conventional organizations, but I feel like maybe in the next 5 years, either we'll see like many of the departments or like some of the departments in every organization implemented purely as DAO, like education. To implement education in a very efficient way, you would want to create a community who could further onboard other community members and spread the education, right? Like education, you can clearly see that it is best to, or onboarding space, it is best to do it as a DAO. But there could be other spaces like implementing a small product and all, right? Maybe you want to do it starting as a centralized team, and then you would then want to decentralize it because when it's a time of growth and all. So for sure, DAO would play like a huge role, and it might not be adopted as full pattern throughout the organization, but certain departments would be laid out just as purely DAOs.
Awesome, Robin. So we've covered why you're targeting education, your thoughts about DAOs and the future of DAOs in Web3 and the DoDAO platform. Now, I'm curious, this is a big question. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, is DoDAO itself a DAO? And if so, is there a token incorporated into this?
Yeah, DoDAO, till now it was not a DAO because it was just me working with few other members who were interested in the project, right? We're still bootstrapped and all. And as I said, like for me, since it was important to first know what we are trying to build exactly, right, and then go to the community and have their interest. So I think we are at that point, like where it on the product we've been doing good, but there's a lot of things that we need to expand on the product side. But last 3 months was spent on the education side, like building up a lot of the DeFi courses and all, which will be rolled out in next 15 days to a month. I myself, I'm working on a DeFi book, which will be coming out maybe in a month and a half or so. So I think like on the academy side, we would be there in a month, and then we would be rolling that out as purely DAOs, like as a DAO. So at the point where I see like okay, the community can take it forward, maybe I would work on something else, right? Like maybe just on the product side and all. So do DAO right now it's not, but the vision, at least starting with the academy, would be to have academy as a pure DAO first, and then try to take the product also in a decentralized way. So right now we don't have any token, and the plan would be to have like a very restrictive token. Means like you would be able to earn the token, but you would not be able to buy or sell it, right? Something like that. And and the reason to do that would be we'd also want to lay down a pattern for other projects to follow, where because there is very less clarity about regulation, but you could implement tokens in a very innovative way where you conform to the security laws, right? And still you can align like the whole team and also have a token. So the main reason for having the token would be to also show that how you could be compliant with the security laws and all, but still have a token, right? And we'll try it out with our academy and we'll learn like how that works out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Robin. So just one of the last DoDAO focused questions that I have is what is on the roadmap for this year? What is on the roadmap for 2023 that's exciting?
Yeah, so the first thing would be to release the DeFi courses, be the pioneers in DeFi education. The courses are on track to be released around next month, and the education for those courses would be free. We'll be doing training sessions and all, study groups, and we also started working on some of the courses related to DAOs. One is related to voting, like what are the ways you could do votings and all. There is structuring of the DAOs, what are different way how you can structure them. Third one is how do you collaborate and compensate members in DAOs. So basically, we're taking examples of some DAOs, doing some case studies, and after that, we're saying like, okay, these are the projects or protocols you can use to achieve these things. So the focus would be first to have DeFi courses, probably in next month or so, and then a couple of months it would be work on the DAO courses, and also we'll keep expanding our product to meet all of these things. On the product side, right now, as I said, that we have guides and courses. There are some partners who are eagerly waiting for some new features, like which they've already shared, which they want, which is like timelines and all, because in DAOs, things evolve very easily, like very quickly, and it is difficult to keep up with all the new information and all. So you want to show all of that information in the form of timelines so that you could just see the timeline and see like when all of those important decisions were taken, have different timelines, one for product, one for governance and all, something like that. And also there has been demand for maybe even simpler or quicker format of education, which could be nano courses or like Twitter thread type of courses and all, which users can go through it like maybe within 1 minute or so. So those are the two features which are on the roadmap, like for a near future.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robin. And I just want to segue here and kind of bridge this to Opolis and how we can collaborate. So for those of you that are joining, a lot of you are familiar with Opolis, but for those of you that are new and just learning, I want to go over like TLDR, what is Opolis for those of you that are just learning today. So Opolis is a digital employment cooperative. We are member owned, and we are essentially aiming to democratize employment through empowering individual workers, independent workers, to essentially be their own bosses, to get payroll, to get medical benefits, dental, vision, 401k options. Essentially, we are providing all of the benefits of a corporate position with all of the freedom of freelance work. And I think one of the most effective ways to illustrate why Opolis is so significant is to touch on pain points, like problems that it solves, right? Because like Toad likes to say, people care about things either for pleasure or for pain. People, pay for something for pleasure or pain. So I think what Opolis is doing is really identifying multiple pain points that people face as freelancers or people working on DAOs full time, right? Like we're kind of like in the Wild West right now. And it can be a little intimidating to jump into the DAO space as a full time worker without the necessary safety net things to help you thrive as an individual. And, I'm going to pass the mic over to Toad just to go over some of those pain points today.
I mean, it's difficult, in fact, I think, to like, I don't know, say what people are struggling with, At the end of the day, like the Opolis solution has so much surface to it, there's taxes and there's benefits and there's this, that, and there is the third. And I feel like more like the topic of conversation to have is less like what is a health insurance policy and more like what is ongoing in your life. So that's really just that, I just like to kind of like be talking to freelancers and helping freelancers become better freelancers. And the way that you do that is you just talk about what's not working and then you fix it. So there are these things. I know that like in general, part of what I'm trying to like do at the Opolis is make this a place where we can have more community of us holding each other together, us building each other stronger, better, faster as freelancers. It's not it's not an easy task becoming self-employed. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of just like get a job and it's like, all right, cool. Now I have a job. But one does not simply become self-employed. It's like, all right, I'm self-employed. Oh shit. It's not like, oh cool, and now I have all of these things I must stress and worry about. First and foremost is just having clients, selling yourself and learning to operate as a business, man. So
you're a
what
business man.
because I'm a businessman. I know I tweet that at least once a week. I'll just be like feeling saucy and I'll just be like, I'm a businessman. But it's the future of work, guys. Like we all sit out here and talk about DAOs and crypto and NFT and all these things, and it is what it is. But it's fun, right? It's good times. But like, let's acknowledge too, like the hard things that must be done, right? Like hard things that must be done is like if we're going to decentralize work, then we must become the business. And until like everything is on chain, we're going to have to integrate and interact with government systems, and like part of the process is just that. It's like wrapping yourself inside of a employment vehicle is kind of what you could think about. I've been thinking about this meme honestly as like the rapper meme, because that's what it is. Like you're wrapping your freelancer practice. You're taking your Ethereum, you're turning it into wrapped Ethereum, and now it has newly enabled superpowers. It's the same thing. You're taking your freelancer practice, you're wrapping your freelancer practice, and now you have newly enabled superpowers. And yeah, I'm all about it. If you're looking to be self-employed, if you try to self-employ yourself, like I want to engage and talk with you. I'm all about like promoting people. I'm all about us supporting each other. I'm all about us becoming better businesses in our own right. That's what's up, friends. The old oorah from your boy Toad. Let's all become businesses,
Thank
man.
you, Toad. We got the soundboard. Sandy, could we just give a round of applause for Toad? As always, super informative. So a couple things like for Opolis, at least for me, I talk about pain points and like what I experienced. Back when I was at Harmony, like I was earning in the native token in one token. And I've mentioned this before, just like moving to the San Francisco Bay Area, it was really difficult to find a place to live without that proof of employment, without a W-2, without a pay stub. And really, like what Toad was saying, like in the meantime, while we are like gearing towards a more decentralized future, there are like the necessary evils and kind of like the compliance stuff that we have to deal with, because, as far as the mainstream like society goes, like this hasn't been fully adopted yet and integrated into our employment systems. Like most of the world really still is operating in the Web 2 employment space. Like we are kind of in a niche kind of bubble right now until we achieve mainstream adoption. So those are just kind of the necessary things that we need to do to support ourselves in the current world, the current state of the world. And I think having a W-2, I think getting a pay stub, and I think having medical benefits is essential, right? And like our co-founder, Eddie Pastor, likes to say, benefits are the least important thing until they become the most important thing. Like if you have a child, if you have a family, like you need that coverage. Like God forbid there's an emergency, like for me, recently, like I've had dental work I've needed done for quite some time, and I was on the state exchange in California, and I seriously would have to pay an arm and a leg just to go get like a root canal or to get a crown. And recently I've been able to get up to date on all of my dental work, and it's just a huge relief. Like I said on our last call, a root canal is a lot less painful when you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. Like the coverage that Opolis offers is really great. And it's been a huge relief for me as an individual. I want to make sure all the speakers here get a chance to talk. So Miguel, what's up, man? I want to talk about your experience on the ambassador program and just like ways people can get involved and earn an Opolis. I think the ambassador program is so significant and it's open to anyone. So Miguel, I'll pass the mic to you to talk about that for a bit.
Thank you, Rachel, and hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better now.
Much better. Awesome.
Excellent. I think I was talking a little bit too close into the phone, so I apologize for that. But really, I want to echo what Toad was saying, is that we're here to speak to freelancers. We want to make and discuss how to become better entrepreneurs, how to set up our businesses, how to brand ourselves, how to run our business better. And Opolis helps us solve those pain points that we may have in launching that. And with the ambassador program, what we are searching for, we're searching for leaders in their communities to offer these solutions that you may have that may have pain points. So if you are part of a DAO, an organization, a company, whether you're in Web 2, Web 3, Opolis offers the solution, and the ambassador program really gives leaders of their communities the option to showcase the solution, be a source of resources for your community. And the ambassador program not only educates you, lets you be part of a community. There's also cash incentives and token incentives for you to do what you're already doing and be a leader in your community and help freelancers, independent contractors solve these pain points that they may have in becoming better entrepreneurs.
That was really well put synopsis there, Miguel. And so when the ambassador program was started, I put together like a bit of a mission and a mandate for this, like what our why is in doing this. And the three things that I thought of are community building, education, and ecosystem growth. So those are the three things I really wanted to integrate into this program. So since its inception, we've actually onboarded a bunch of ambassadors who we actually have some on the call today. We have Jairus, not sure who else, but some other, ambassadors. Like there's crossover with the ETH Denver team. We have one of the Biddle Week stewards on as an ambassador, and so many other amazing people. I think the founder also of Buffacorn Ventures is one of our ambassadors. So it's just a growing team of really awesome people. And pretty much if you have public speaking skills, if you love human connection, if you love building community in the space, then I highly encourage you to apply to become an ambassador. I don't think anyone has been turned down yet. Like if you sincerely want to join and help us usher in the future of work and educate your community, I want to welcome all of you to join, to apply, to help us create the future of work. And there's so many different avenues to get involved. Like Miguel, if you want to talk about the different ways that you can contribute as an ambassador, feel free.
Yeah, ambassadors engage their community, whether through virtual spaces like this Twitter space or in-person events. We help you set those up so you can reach out to your community and engage them in a meaningful way to try to solve these pain points as freelancers. So that is something that we really encourage at the ambassador program. And we have weekly calls where we all support each other. We all learn from each other. We share best practices. And then, so I encourage anybody to apply that is interested in, like Rachel said, bring in the democratization of employment and services for us to be better entrepreneurs.
Something like I mentioned when I first got involved in Web3, like I can't stress the significance of getting involved in your local community. Like, during the pandemic, during COVID, we were all going through this period collectively of isolation. And after that was done, man, like I love connecting with people. I love talking about Web3, especially about DAOs. So after that, I was just hungry to get involved in my community. Like I started something called Crypto Cafe in SoCal, and I actually found this like organic tea bar, and I'm like, wait, let me host a meetup that celebrates wellness and also educates people about Web3 concepts. So I would just go and like host meetups, and I started a meetup page, and I just started doing it, and it was really fun. Like you connect with like-minded people, you get to build community IRL. And there's avenues for whatever makes sense for you, right? Like some people are anonymous in this space, which I completely respect. If you want to do virtual events, that's totally fine too. There's so many different avenues to get involved with Opolis. And I also want to mention, Miguel, if you want to talk about the payment structure too, like how you can earn through this program, feel free.
Sure, Rachel. Not only do you get to help your community and solve pain points that they may be having, we have set up a structure where if you set up we want you to go through your community and get leads for us. And for every qualified lead that you get, we give you $100. And if they join as employee members, we'll give you an additional $200 plus 1,000 work tokens for them joining as employee members. So not only are you doing something good for your community, we've also structured it where you can benefit from it and make some extra income.
Awesome. Yeah, like it really just seems like if you're a supporter of Opolis, if you are a supporter of freelance workers, of democratizing employment, of DAOs, please apply to be an ambassador, and you would meet with Miguel to do the onboarding process and go through the DAO guide to educate yourself on Opolis. I want to mention too, Miguel, do we have any upcoming meetups going on? Do we have any events planned that we could direct the attendees to?
We have one in the San Francisco Bay Area coming up on the 18th. If you visit our Opolis Twitter handle, you can get more information. But Toad would be hosting that event, and we're looking forward to it. We just had one yesterday in Denver. When Jairus is on the line here, he is hosting his first virtual space next week. So really look into that. So we have several things coming up. Those are the ones that come to mind right now.
I have actually, Jairus, if you do want to come up and talk a little bit about your Twitter space coming up, feel free. But I just want to start just with some closing thoughts with ways to get involved. Like if you are on a DAO or you have a project that you want to help get more involved in the Web3 space, I want to recommend for each of you to check out the DAO Denver website, DAOdenver.org. So for those of you that are coming to Ethereum Denver, there is a 3-day DAO Focus conference happening at ETH Denver. So I highly suggest that as I could say it's a starting point. Like for me, it was like I was able to speak at DAO Denver 2022. And I would say it really was a launching pad for my career. It got me connected with so many different projects, like Bankless DAO will be there, Moon DAO, D-Work, a lot of big projects, My DAO, will be involved at this event. So if you guys are interested to learn more and get involved at this event, go to DAOplanet.org, and there's different avenues to get involved, either as a speaker, sponsor, and yeah, if you want more information, please reach out to me. And for those that haven't applied yet to go to ETH Denver, I highly suggest that too, as a networking opportunity, a connection, or an opportunity to collaborate and connect with other people in Web3. And just as an overall fun experience, like it really is life-changing, and I highly suggest for all of you to check it out. And I will pass the mic to whoever else wants to contribute.
Hey, this is Sandy. I have a question for Robin. Robin, I'm interested in definitely doing a course of just how to do crypto voxel wearables. How does someone of like a creative mind get started with that?
Yeah, for sure. Like if you want to do a course, like create your own site, I would say like shoot me a message, and then we can set up a white label site for you, and then you can create those courses and all. And in case you want to learn about DeFi or DAOs, like doDAO.academy would have the courses on DeFi and DAOs.
Awesome. We'll connect. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. And for those of you that want to create an educational guide, like I see some projects in here, like we have Jacob from Sansound. If we want to create an educational guide for Sansound and maybe write about soul binding NFTs, I think that would be really helpful for those in the community to learn about. And also CultDAO. If CultDAO is not on DoDAO already, let's get them on there too. Maybe DAO Planet. There's a couple different projects I see on here. If you guys are interested and want to create an educational guide for your community, for your DAO or DAO tool, please shoot me a DM or shoot DoDAO a DM if you want to get started.
For sure.
Yeah. So anything else, Toad, Miguel, Robin, anything else you'd like to share as we get to the top of the hour here?
I'm feeling righteous. I'll tell you what, feeling all right. It is Friday. It's coming into the end of it. So good times and great oldies. I think I'm off to make memes and enjoy the weekend. I mean, what else is there to do, you know?
I was actually going to take a trip this weekend to Tahoe, but the weather is so crazy in California. For those of you that are
Oh,
not
don't
here,
go. Don't
no,
go.
I can't. I was actually going to go hang out and like kick it with one of our ambassadors, Amber, but yeah, my
Oh, Amber.
I don't think my car would make the trip, so I'm just going to have to postpone it.
Yeah,
It is
the
crazy
SF
out there.
Chronicle put out a literal article specifically saying if you're going to Tahoe this weekend, do not go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it just so happens. But hey, I'm gonna relax this weekend, you guys. I'm gonna be working on this DAO blog with Jairus. So I'm really excited for that. Keep your eyes peeled. We'll be publishing the first blog post on the 15th. So keep your eyes peeled for that, you guys. Um, and if you want your DAO to be featured in this blog, feel free to reach out to me. I'm looking at the most active DAOs who have had the most impact, highest treasury, most transactions, most votes on Snapshot. We're reviewing all things DAOs to post on this blog. So
Yeah,
if
that's
you have
dope.
a project that's making an impact that you're excited about, please reach out to me with it. And also, we could feature you on Freelancer Friday or our partner spotlight calls. Like, I really am so grateful for how much these have grown and for everyone that keeps showing up and supporting us here. Super grateful for all of you. And I'm open to highlighting new projects. Reach out if you want to have your project featured.
I've you and young Jairus have chosen a platform for posting said blog posts to? Question mark.
Yeah, so we're looking at a couple different solutions. Right now, I think it's just going to go on Medium, honestly. I was looking at mirror.xyz. I've actually written an article on DAO sustainability there before. However, I think Medium would get more exposure. But yeah, I'm still open to playing around with the platform we want to use. I'm really into like Web3 dApps or tools. I also really like blockchain, which is on the in the near ecosystem. But I just think for overall exposure, that Medium is where we'll start for now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
open
mean,
to
you
being
can
flexible there.
post like cross platforms. I'm pondering the same thing. I posted my first article of the year. I guess it was earlier this week. I posted an article on decentralized data oracles to mirror.xyz. I think I tweeted about it once and it was like a toad farted in the wind and no one heard it, you know? Maybe I should post on Medium too, and then the fanatics can go and, pick it up on mirror.xyz. Anyways, curious. It's the top of the hour, so small talk on the old things and chilling my own blog. I guess it's a blog. I'm writing it more like a journal. Just the things and the ponderings that are top of mind. You know. All DAO things so far, honestly. Like DAOs are the future, so that's what I'm writing about, guys.